'Twas R.F. Deldefeld who, in the year 1970, wrote the acclaimed novel God is an Englishman. What prescience, what foresight, what prophecy prompted him to pen this great novel? For he could not have known that years later, after his death in fact, in the year of our Lord 1986, Anno Domini, that our Lord would come and our world would forever be changed. And so, was Deldefeld's pen moved by a divine hand? Or could he have possibly known of the coming of England's prodigal son?
Find a way to your heart. Oh, the days of forgetting, they're gone out with the tide. Lost at sea somewhere, waiting like setting suns at the rodeo, trying to find someone you'll never know.
The time, any time. The era, any era. The place, England, the land of lords and lackeys alike. The place where there are pools full of livers, sandwiches on the sea, people are stoked on Trent. Whites get their isle and blacks get their pool. And ham comes in the variety. Birmingham, Notting, West, full, witches, come in species of gren, eeps, nor, there are mouths dotting the coast, Bourne, Port Way, Ex, Bly, Val, Seed. It is truly God's country. The man, our hero, Edward Carpenter. Fluorescence, preparedness, studiousness, debonaireness, and though eloquence is undoubtedly one of his many incredible attributes, those that try to describe Edward Carpenter would find that the only problem is more not a lack of words, but perhaps a plethora, a staggering plenitude of words that one might use to describe him. But no combination would suffice a description of Edward Carpenter. No description short of reading the dictionary from cover to cover twice. They say that no man is a mountain. Likewise, no mountain is Edward Carpenter. For no mountain hath thus far tried to bike the breadth of England. An undertaking that Edward Carpenter undertook like an undertaker. And though our hero is a citizen of the world, he is first and foremost England's favorite son. And so in order to pay homage to the land of his birth, Edward Carpenter bought Wolverine gloves and rode. He rode. What happens when England and Edward Carpenter take each other on? Two immovable forces, to be sure, But surely something has got to give. Would sculpted quadriceps or rugged mountains be declared victor? Would rain and fog and sleet deter Edward Carpenter? Or would the very elements of the heavens be vanquished neath the tread of his tire? This was to be his apotheosis. For to say that Edward Carpenter is only a man is to misuse the word only. He set off to prove his supremacy by bringing a bicycle with only his calves and thighs from one coast of England to another. But was this daunting challenge too much for even he? One man, 2 tires, 2 coasts, 1 goal.
Yo te tiré el balón y no hubo más juego luego, ya no se devolvió. Yo te tiré el balón y no hubo más juego luego, ya nunca más volvió. Pues cógelo, cógelo, sin miedo, cógelo. Y antes de que toque el suelo, ahí cógelo. Un pase de talón solo chutaste luego con mi pase de talón. Un pase de talón y tú solo chutaste luego. Siempre chupaste algo, pues cógelo.
Cockermouth. Is it a question? So say some. Ed Carpenter would hold that it is simply the best place to start the voyage, that will turn him into a cock or a mouth.
I'm not sure if I brushed my teeth properly today.
When Edward Carpenter was a young boy frolicking in the hills of Sheffield at his grandmama's house, he was out on his razor scooter one day and saw passing before him at an astonishing speed 2 men on bicycles, and he said to his grandmama, "What are those men? Are they winged beasts?" And she said, "Nay, they are but bikers." It was a fabled time, and Edward said, "One day I shall be a biker." And so he went out and bought every accoutrement that he could possibly buy, and then, after the gloves, he bought a bicycle. Edward Carpenter, or Little Eddie Freddy, the engine that really could, as he's known by his friends that have a propensity for long nicknames. The mystery surrounding the legend has always been frothy, filled with moisture and mist, and those that want to know, how is it that he gains such a phenomenal figure? How is it that he coordinates his clothing so well? Does he shop at the same store? We have followed him here to Cumbria, in northeast England, to find out precisely where it is that he does his work. Edward Carpenter, a man ahead of his time. But still a man of the people. Lover of animals. Supporter of the local economy. Ed, what is it that you plan to do here?
Thinking of taking a photo of one of these signs.
Right.
Stripey zebra sign. Maybe buying some water as well.
Where would
Hydration.
one buy water from here?
Probably. Maybe the general store. I don't know.
Ow, what an eye he has. The general store. Well, we'll stop in there and see if Ed speaks the local lingo. One is tempted to ask themselves, how does Edward Carpenter do it? Why not hear it from the horse's mouth himself? Ed, would you mind telling us how you do it?
Plenty of training, plenty of peanut butter, plenty of sleep.
And what would you say to your critics who have criticized in their critical ways your eating of so many pasta sandwiches in the morning for carbohydrates?
They're all behind me. I wouldn't even know where to find them.
There you have it. Arrogance, nay, confidence.
Spiritual syllogism. Does Edward Carpenter bear his surname as a testament to Christ, our Redeemer? Or conversely, was God's mortal embodiment, born the son of Joseph, a carpenter, as an indication of what was to come? Perhaps we shall never know. What we do know is that Edward is to England what his predecessor Jesus was to Jerusalem. Endowed with purpose, with duty, like Paul Revere before him, Edward Carpenter took to his steed and rode. With the wondrous words upon his lips, the British are coming. The British are coming. he carried his message over dirt and mud and tar, over hills and mountains and rivers, through valleys and tunnels and adoring villages, leaving doubters and kilometers in his wake. He traversed England from coast to coast, inspiring a nation and strengthening the constitution of the populace as he went. And England shall never be the same. Trillions of his disciples, such as this young Brighton with the typical haircut, each year travel untold distances to visit the sacred place and pay homage to a man, to a legend. And as their minds at the shore are flooded with emotions of every sort, these words always seem to find a way to their lips. Thank you, Edward Carpenter. Thank you for being.
Look out to sea now. Look out to sea, Ed. Come on. This is what you did this for. Contemplate that sailboat, the more colorful sailboat. Now just sort of contemplate what this would be like having done it with your father. Now contemplate how happy you are that you didn't do it with your dad, that you did it with me.